dear listener, to WhisperVale, where stories drift like candlelight through the quiet corners of the heart. Let this story be your calm for the evening, a tale not about changing the world, but about finding peace within it. So close your eyes, breathe deeply, and listen to the story of a river that learned to stop struggling, and in doing so, found the secret of happiness. Long ago, nestled between soft green hills and mist-covered mountains, there flowed a river wide, silver, and restless. From its source high in the mountains, it rushed down with wild power, twisting and roaring through rocks, carving valleys, throwing foam into the sky. It wanted to be great, it wanted to be fast, and above all, it wanted to reach the sea. But the river's path was never easy. Sharp stones cut its flow, heavy boulders blocked its way, and sometimes the sun would dry it until it was nothing but a shallow stream, gasping between cracked earth. Frustrated and angry, the river shouted to the mountains, "Why is my journey so difficult? Why must I fight so hard just to move forward?" The mountains stood silent, patient, eternal, and in their stillness, the river's anger echoed back louder, making its own noise seem unbearable. One day, an old monk named Elder Tao came to sit by its edge. He had watched the river for many years from his hut nearby, a humble shelter built from bamboo and stone, surrounded by a little garden of tea plants. He often came with his walking stick and a cup of tea to sit on the same rock beside the water, his face lined with age, but softened by kindness. That day, as the river fumed and crashed against the rocks, Elder Tao spoke gently. "You sound troubled, my friend." The river hissed, splashing angrily. "I'm tired of struggling. I push and fight every day. The rocks wound me. The sun dries me. The wind steals my strength. And still, I am not there yet. I only want peace." The old man nodded slowly, watching the current shimmer in the sunlight. "Peace cannot be found by fighting for it," he said. "When you resist what is, you create your own suffering." The river grew quiet for a moment. "But how can I not resist? How can I just accept being blocked and broken?" Elder Tao smiled softly. He dipped his wrinkled fingers into the cool water and let it flow between them. "Do you feel how you slip through my hand?" he asked. "You don't resist, and yet, you move forward." He looked up toward the mountain peaks. "You think the stones stop you, but they shape your path. You think the heat destroys you, but it teaches you to value the rain. You think you are lost, but you're always flowing towards something even when you cannot see it." The monk stood slowly and leaned on his staff. "Stop trying to rush your way to peace. Flow gently, and you will find it was with you all along." Then he walked back to his hut, leaving the river to wonder. For the first time in its long life, the river was silent. It didn't roar or crash. It hushed fluid. It watched the sunlight turn its surface golden. It listened to the wind brushing softly through the reeds. It felt the coolness of the earth below, holding it, guiding it. And in that stillness, the river began to see differently. The rocks that once felt cruel now shimmered like jewels under the current. The slow bends no longer felt like obstacles. They were invitations to rest, to breathe. When the rains came again, the river no longer rushed wildly. It danced. Its surface rippled with joy, carrying fallen petals and the reflection of the sky. And slowly, effortlessly, it began to move faster, deeper, stronger. Not because it forced itself, but because it finally flowed in harmony with everything around it. Travelers began to notice something different. They no longer called it the Restless River. They called it the Silver Stream. For in the mornings, when the sun rose over the mountains, the whole valley shimmered as if made of light. And sometimes, when the wind was just right, villagers swore they could hear a soft whisper in the water, a gentle, familiar voice saying, "Flow with life, and life will carry you." This story reminds us that suffering often begins where resistance begins. We cannot stop the sun from burning or the rain from falling. We cannot make the world bend to our will, but we can choose how we move within it. When we stop fighting what we cannot change, we begin to see life not as an enemy to overcome, but as a river to float within. Peace doesn't mean the river has no stones. It means we stop hurting ourselves by crashing into them. So, the next time life feels heavy or unfair, remember the river's secret. Let go. Flow softly. You are already moving towards something beautiful. Thank you for sharing this quiet evening in WhisperVale, where stories remind us that calm is not found in control, but in gentle surrender. If this tale brought you peace or reflection, please subscribe and stay a while. There will always be another soft story waiting to light your heart.